What's going on, everyone? This is Adam Craig with Grandstand Golf. On the show, we're talking DFS Sleepers for the 2020 Masters Tournament. Craig, we're coming off the Houston Open, where we nailed Carlos Ortiz as the winner at 6,700 and Sepp Straka with the top 5.
Yeah, I do appreciate, too, that you said we nailed, because you definitely picked Ortiz. But yeah, we had two of our guys in the top 5. To me, this is like the bread and butter. This is where you really, like, everyone's going to have a lot of ownership all across the stars.
Anybody can pick DJ. Anybody can pick Rahm.
Yeah.
How are you going to?
And any of those guys can win. But it's like, do you get your other guys sneaking up into the top 20? Because that's really going to be whether you win or you're in a top 10, or the cash just goes up so much if you can nail the sleepers.
Yeah, exactly. And I say we because the Grandstand community won. If you're listening to this, and those guys, oddly enough, were our 5th and 6th selections last week.
The cheap ones.
Watch all the way. Yeah, all the way to the end of the video.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going into the Masters, 2020 Masters. Again, our sleepers are under 7,500 on DraftKings. Not necessarily guys, I mean, depending on the guy here, but not necessarily ones we think are going to win, but ones who we think can outperform their price.
Yeah, and so do have the chance to be competitive, I think.
Yeah, exactly. My first one here, Cameron Champ, coming in at 7,100 on DraftKings, 39th, and on FanDuel, he's 9,100, so a little bit of a discount on DraftKings. He ranks, if we look at the just this past season, starting with the Safeway Open, he ranks 12th in the field for strokes gained tee to green. 12th compared to his price point around 40th. I mean, it's just a huge discount. Mm-hmm. He has that huge distance off the tee, 326-yard driving average. I mean, he was 4th. Last year, he was 2nd, but I mean, guys.
I was going to say 4th sounds low. I thought but it was last year, the season that just ended, that he was 2nd.
Yeah, it's in the shorter tournament, or shorter season, sorry. I just feel like at 7,100, he's one of those few people up there that actually has the ability to, top 10. He had a top 10 at the PGA Championship this summer. He was 2nd going into the Sunday round. His ceiling is really, really high. He's just a young guy, tons of talent. He also is a little bit more volatile. I mean, he has a string of missed cuts. He could easily miss this cut as well. But the possible reward with Cameron Champ is a lot better than you'll find at guys this range.
Yeah, I think that's true. When you get these guys that are long hitters, you still have to get them putting well and all the other things, but it means that when their game is good, it means they can be competitive against the strongest fields out there. So, I mean, Cam Champ, he's just got a huge weapon with the driver, and he's a rookie, right? A Masters rookie?
He is a Masters rookie.
Yeah, and so we were talking about it a little bit. I do think the lack of fans there, Masters is a notoriously hard place for rookie first-timers to come to and really do well. But I think it might be just a touch easier for them this time around. And he's shown he can go to majors and compete. So, I like it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay, jumping into my first one here, I've got Cameron Smith. He's 7,300 on DraftKings, that's 33rd, and 8,700 on FanDuel, which is 43rd. A little bit of a spread there. He does have some Masters experience. Most notably, he was 5th a couple years ago. Other than that, he had made some cuts, but not great finishes. Young guy though, so that's not entirely unexpected that he's had some poorer finishes. His form right now is really good. He hasn't missed a cut since the Travelers, which was July, I think, so just June, July,
no kidding.
Quite a while ago. And in his last, it's not just that he's making cuts and sticking around for the weekend to get a low 6-figure paycheck. He's doing well. He's getting high up into the fields. He's got 6 top 25 in his last 7 starts, and I believe most recently he had a 4th and an 11th at the CJ and Zozo. So he's really getting up there. The last thing, I always look at the statistical profile. You can break their strokes gained into 4 different categories: off the tee, approach, around the green, and putting. And it looks like at Augusta, approach and putting can be huge predictive stats for how well someone's going to do. And those are his strongest his strongest attributes. So you look back since 2017 season, he's been positive in both of those. He's putting really well right now. So I just think there's a lot of things to like about Cameron Smith.
Yeah, I really like Cameron Smith as well. I think I read earlier in the summer he builds his whole season around about peaking at the right time, and I liked him. He kind of seemed like he was turning a corner going into the U.S. Open, and it seems like he's even peaking a little bit better now going into the Masters. I mean, a guy usually at this price you're looking at kind of the journeyman type PGA pros. I don't think that's Cameron Smith. I think Cameron Smith is maybe in the future a major winner. I mean, he just has that kind of upside, and
it's that flat brim swag, isn't it? That's
yeah, and the Penguin, man, he's rocking the Penguin.
That's true. I do like the Penguin. Okay, speaking of Masters winners,
Zach Johnson, 6,800, 49th on DraftKings. He's 8,100, 55th on FanDuel. Former Masters winner. I mean, completely opposite profile we're seeing from Cameron Champ, my first pick. He's not going to blow you away off the tee at all. But interestingly enough, in this shorter 2020 season, he's having his best statistical season yet. So 1.36 strokes gained total, 0.68 positive strokes gained approach, and in strokes gained putting, 0.86. Exactly what you're talking about. Coming in, you need that approach and you need that putting. I mean, we know putting's volatile, but I don't think you're going to turn a corner on the Augusta greens. I think you need to have some.
You can get lucky, but it's hard to get lucky for 72 holes.
Exactly. So 4 straight tournaments, he's positive strokes gained approach and positive strokes gained putting. So super, super consistent, something I think he'll carry into Augusta and hopefully into the Augusta weekend. I think one thing I feel like with Zach Johnson is his ceiling isn't very high. I don't think he can win this. Like I think there's just his upper ability to match these guys like the Roms, the DJs, it's just not there. Mm-hmm. But I think his ceiling is actually pretty safe. Or
I could see him getting into the back end of the top 10, but I don't see him being top 3, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I just feel like guys we've seen like the Lee Westwoods, the Matt Kuchars kind of backdoor their way into these top 20s and top 10s of the Masters. I feel like Zach Johnson kind of sets up like that this year.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him ever since the Wyndham. He played really well to get into the playoffs. I want to say it was August or around there, and it seemed like he just kind of turned a corner. Then he had been playing really poorly, and ever since then it's been about three months maybe of really, really high level play from him. So I like it a lot. My next one, speaking of high-level play recently, Jason Kokrak, $7,000, 42nd on DraftKings, $9,000, 37th on FanDuel. Yeah. Last 7 starts, 6 top 20s, 2 top 10s. Obviously, one of those top 10s was the win at the CJ Cup at Sherwood, which, what are they calling that? Or not Sherwood, sorry, Shadow Creek, which they're calling the Augusta of Las Vegas. But, you know, similar type of course in terms of the greens are demanding. You have to very much hit to spots on the greens. Obviously, so many things different. The rough is different. There's a lot of things different about it, but really demands that precision hitting into greens. He's a positive ball striker. You look at his stat profile. You look back, I actually didn't realize he'd been around this long, but you look back 9 years straight, he's been positive in his ball striking. Wow. His real strength is off the tee. It's similar to Cam Champ, I think, in that it gives him, when he is playing well and his putter gets hot and all of these things, it gives him chances to go out there and potentially compete and contend. Last one, he's actually been really good in majors. Last 5 majors he's played in. He's made the cut in 4, and when he's made the cut, he's actually got up there, you know, not necessarily into the top 10s, but average finish in those 4 is 23rd. So it's pretty good. He's getting himself up into the upper half of the people that made the cut.
Especially when your price are on 40th, I mean, in DFS. I just like, you have to fill out your roster, and you can't get guys that are consistently at the top at these majors every year. And I feel like when you're looking down here, you see these guys, and if they're in form, there's so much more likely that they're going to have kind of continue that into these major championships. Yeah,
and as far as I know, he is a Masters rookie. So another one that he'll be there for the first time, but he may benefit from there not being the intensity with the crowds.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly. All right, my third and final selection going down to 6,600 on DraftKings is Corey Connors. 8,100 on FanDuel. He's about 55th, 57th there. I just think when you go this low, it's hard to find someone this cheap that has great ball striking, and actually has the Masters experience too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't have necessarily great history at the Masters, but having 6 rounds here is quite a bit. I mean, he knows the Sunday pins. He's played there on the weekend before. I just feel like it's that experience that you can't find at 6,600 unless you're getting a former Masters champ at 55 years old, you know, at this price range.
Fred Couples or something.
Yeah, exactly. In 3 of his last 4 tournaments, plus 1.1 strokes tee to green or better. So he's been, I mean, he was right there last week at the Houston Open on Saturday. He blew up after a couple of holes, but I mean, he was right there. Still a pretty good finish at the Houston Open. I think he can carry that in. And then his 6 rounds. So he missed the cut, I think in 2015 it was, when he was quite young. And then he played last year and had all 4 rounds. But 4 of those 6, he's actually been under par.
Yeah. You know, I like it a lot. We talk about Corey Connors a lot. His ball striking, he's an absolute stud of a ball striker. It's just really a matter of surviving the greens with him, and so hopefully we can do that. He just has such a high ceiling because of his ball striking. We just hope that he can. If he's neutral putting, then you're going to get a really good finish out of him.
Yeah, I also feel like, I mean, with him, a blow up or a tougher hole might be coming. I just hope that comes on Saturday and Sunday. You can make it up with birdies and eagles. I mean, there are other
or just avoid it altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
My last one here. So this one's a bit of a pickle for me because Sebastián Muñoz, he comes in at 6,700 on DraftKings, that's 53rd, and 7,900 on FanDuel, which is 59th. But this one's a bit of a pickle for me. If you don't pay super close attention to golf and you're not following it week to week, you may not realize how much of a stud this guy is in the DFS community, because
absolutely
you'll like go down there and you'll find him at like 20% ownership as a sleeper, and it's just crazy sometimes.
But he's been playing so well lately.
Yeah, his play deserves it.
He never gets priced up. It seems like he gets no respect.
Yeah, it's like he needs to get a win here, and I think that'll really bump him up. But yeah, so since the restart, gaining almost a stroke tee to green, we've seen him his strongest attribute is his approach play. We've seen him go on crazy heaters where he'll just make 7 straight birdies or 8 straight birdies. So last 8 starts, 7 top 30 finishes. That's the type of thing that you're going to get a lot of love from the DFS community. And 3 of those are top 10s. But so, you know, what I was saying at the start, the problem is that he's a darling of the DFS community. So if you plug him in, expect his ownership to be high and make sure that you're not just taking super chalky plays everywhere. The one thing I'm hoping, you know, it's the Masters week, so we'll get a lot of people playing that don't normally play. He's not someone who has a real major championship history in any of them, not just the Masters. So beyond kind of the hardcores like us, I think he doesn't necessarily have as much name recognition. So maybe that'll keep his ownership a little bit lower.
Yeah, I love Munoz. I feel like whenever I'm cashing, he seems to be in those lineups. He seems to be always high 6s or low 7s, no matter what the tournament is. So yeah, I see no reason why he's going to continue that momentum into Augusta.
Yeah, and one guy we didn't mention, but I think we'll be in a similar situation in terms of ownership, but like I really like as a sleeper is Lonto Griffin, who he's down in the high 6s as well, but he's another darling of the DFS community that you know his ownership is going to be pretty high. Yeah,
for sure. So quickly recapping, I got Cameron Champ at 7,100, Zach Johnson 6,800, and Corey Connors 6,600 on DraftKings.
And I've got Cam Smith at 7,300, Jason Kokrak at 7,000, and Sebastián Muñoz at 6,700.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We released a pick show earlier, so make sure to check that out. We also have our Masters First Look already on YouTube, so check that as well, where we have a pick, a fade, and a sleeper. And our full Masters Preview podcast is on YouTube as well. And Craig, we're doing do some Twitch.
All the content. Yeah, I think we're looking at Tuesday night for Twitch. So if you guys could be there, 9 Eastern time probably, that's what we're thinking,
Bump it up. It's usually on Wednesday. We're going to bump it up to Tuesday. We're going to go through the entire field like we always do and find those kind of deep sleepers.
Yeah, have a good chat about it.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody.
Good luck, guys. See ya.